Welcome back to Broncos Beat. Alexis Perry here alongside James Palmer, Cecil, Lammey, and Mike Giardi. Mike, you are a permanent fixture of the Patriots Beat. So let's start with the latest out of Foxborough. As of the taping of this show Monday morning, what is the latest on Cam Newton and the COVID-19 front?
Well, so Cam is asymptomatic, which is obviously a good thing for anybody that comes in contact and gets COVID. So that's a positive. So now what you look at is he's got to get 2 negative tests within a period of 5 days, which if he gets the 2 negative tests, he could technically be back on the field in time for the Broncos game next weekend. So that's something to keep an eye on from both sides, obviously. In the meantime, the Patriots will turn around and roll with Brian Hoyer against the Kansas City Chiefs, which, James, as you well know, not necessarily the most ideal situation.
No, it's not, considering you're changing your entire playing style in the way that we've seen Cam Newton operate this offense with such a run-heavy offense, specifically with him under center, and now it changes dramatically for how they operate with Cam Newton. What I do think is interesting is how it would work throughout the week with Cam. Obviously, the virtual meeting type of scenario, right, is a way that we've all gone through this offseason, the way that every team has operated. So it wouldn't be anything new for him to be virtually into all these meetings, Cecil, but obviously not being out there on the field, seeing where he is health-wise, even if he is asymptomatic, where is he without practicing? Is he working out? Where is he there mentally? And how they operate throughout the week, because they do have to decide between 2 different style of offenses that they would have to implement throughout the week. So it's difficult on the rest of the players as well if you're going to leave it up in the air a little bit.
Right, and difficult on the Broncos because now you have to kind of prepare for 2 totally different styles, as we've all mentioned. And with Cam Newton out there, okay, he's a veteran. Broncos have Mike Shula. I remember talking to Cam years ago when he was with the Panthers about Mike Shula and just how much he raved about that coach. So they know Cam. They have pretty intimate knowledge of Cam Newton, what he likes to do. We all kind of know what he likes to do out there. With Brian Hoyer, he's a seasoned veteran. He's been around forever, but it is 2 different styles. Now, the Broncos have a long week because they played on Thursday night, and the Patriots will have a short week. So advantage Broncos, even though they will have to pretty much prepare for 2 different style of quarterbacks.
Yeah, what are some of those challenges that this could possibly create for New England hosting Denver on Sunday?
Well, I mean, to their point about the offensive changes, right? I mean, so Brian Hoyer has been in the system 3 separate times for the Patriots, so he knows the playbook about as well as anyone. The old playbook, not necessarily the new playbook, obviously, which has been more tailored to Cam Newton's strengths. But I would say what you're looking at is probably going back to the old way of doing things. Hoyer comes from that Tom Brady tree of quarterbacks and the way they ran the offense here. And that's more of what he is suited to do. Where Jared Stidham, who will be the backup for this game against the Chiefs, were he to be the guy, he has a little bit more mobility, and they could do a little bit more things like they would do with Cam. So that, again, adds another little wrinkle to preparation. And, you know, the way the Patriots work, James, is they're not going to announce who the quarterback is. If he tests negative twice and he's able to come back at the end of the week, Bill won't say that he'll be the guy. They could easily say, you know what, we're going to wait till game time, see how he feels. Or maybe they say, you know what, he's been away too long, and we're going to roll with Hoyer again.
And they have their bye right after this week, right, Mike?
They do.
So that might play a factor into this as well, about how they want to go about this and where they think they match up best against the Denver Broncos. And you know, Mike brought up the secondary earlier. I think the secondary plays a vastly different part if you're going against Brian Hoyer than you're going against Cam Newton. Not to say Cam Newton can't throw the ball. He's a former MVP, but he hasn't thrown the football, Mike, downfield all that well entirely. It's been spotty at times. Yep. And so I think that changes the way this secondary plays and could change the way the Patriots approach this game, Cecil, and how they believe is a weak spot that they could exploit, because we always know that that's what Bill Belichick's going to do. Which spot, maybe which quarterback suits him best for a win, and then knowing that bye afterwards could also play a factor in it as well.
See, I love going behind enemy lines here with Mike, because he says something that's very revealing about Brian Hoyer. He knows that old playbook. Well, what's that old playbook feature? More tight ends than we've seen. Where are these rookies? Where's Devin Asiasi? Where's Colorado's very own Dalton Keene, right? Where are these tight ends that you don't see? James, you mentioned how they don't go downfield. They don't have the wide receivers to do that, in my opinion. Nikhil Harry was a terrible pick at the time. I wouldn't have taken him there. But anyway, that's I'm getting on the draft tip. But
fired.
Well, let's be real about it. They don't have the weapons that they would need. They got Julian Edelman and littering, and like that's what they have at the wide receiver position. So how would they attack the Broncos with Brian Hoyer? Might be more tight ends. It's a weakness for Denver. And might be more of the running game. I'm sitting here complaining about their wide receivers. Are we ever going to see Damian Harris? You know, I know Sony Michel can't stay healthy, and Rex Burkhead's out there forever. And God bless James White. Love that guy. But they might use more running backs, might use more tight ends if they have to go with Brian Hoyer against the Broncos.